Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Killer McGillicuddy.
I'm Hector Billy.
I'm your fat man.
I am the fat jolly guy.
I'm Twisted Tessa.
And we're not really a stream team here tonight. For another episode, it's not really a podcast. Uh, take two.
Yeah.
Take two. Tell us
So
why it's take two.
I'll leave that to Fat Jolly Guy if he wants to divulge that information. We're here tonight to talk about our dreams for Destiny 2. As you well may know, tomorrow marks the reveal stream from Bungie for Destiny 2 Year 2. After a tad bit of a tease today, we now know that Year 2 of Destiny 2 will be called Forsaken. And we're going to talk a lot about that tonight to discuss a few topics having to do with Destiny 2 Year 2. Some things we're looking forward to, but I'll let Fat Jolly Guy give you a bit more information on all of that. Jolly, go right ahead, bud.
Hello, guys. My name's Fat Jolly Guy. I'm the newest member of the Not Really a Stream team. I've kind of put this podcast together, kind of just shanghaied it together. Tonight's topics are going to be our hopes and dreams for Year 2 in Destiny 2. And it's going to be an overlook of the events that have taken place within the past, within D1 and D2, and a way that Bungie can turn over a new leaf and bring the fun and excitement back to the fans who have desperately wanted it. So, some of the topics we're going to be covering tonight are our theories of what may lie in store, some possibilities of new items and new characters coming into play, and we're going to be doing at the end we're going to be doing a recap of what Destiny has means to us and still means. So. And just so you all know, what Killa was talking about is we tried this once before, and I had my mic muted for the first 15 minutes of the stream. So, we had to redo it.
These things happen.
Good job, Jolly.
I know. Hey, way to fuck it up on my first day in, right?
We might have to think about firing this guy.
Yeah, this is first and last podcast.
Yeah. Hi, guys. Bye, guys. You know.
It's nice having you on the team, Jolly.
Yeah.
Fun.
So, the first thing that we've already talked about, but we're going to talk about again because I was muted, is location. So, from the teaser trailer, we could see the purple glow of the reef. We see a Guardian and Cade drop in to what appears to be a landing point inside the reef. And what are you guys' thoughts on this possible new location?
I mean,
Uh,
I feel like it's not new.
An old news
yeah.
location. I guess it remains to be seen if it'll be a patrol area. We certainly
That's a
didn't
good
have
question.
a lot. We certainly didn't have a lot of the reef to utilize, if you will, in Destiny 1. But that's not to say that there's not a lot more reefs available to explore. We just haven't seen it. Obviously, there was a lot more tower to the tower than we didn't have access to. In Destiny 2, we got to got to see what was behind certain doors. We still didn't get a lot of the tower, but we
Got a little bit more of it.
got a little more of it, exactly.
Yeah.
And while I do think that it'll be the same, I still feel like the reef itself, may still be a social space now. That could be completely wrong, and I wouldn't be upset with that. If we go to the reef and it is a large enough area for patrol, I think that would be interesting.
Yeah.
I think it lends itself to some interesting possibilities, especially thinking about really what the reef was, and the fact that it's in space, it's low gravity technically. Trying to do a bit of logic here, and we just don't know. If it is a social space, it'll likely be a larger one. But it's the way it looks. If what's to be believed is what we see, the reef may not be in any kind of shape to host a social activity.
Mm.
It's just going to be interesting to see, what it really is going on with
Well,
the reef.
and
when we get
another
there.
thing with the playable areas of the reef, you know how like let's take Mars for example. There's two landing points. There's the Futurescape landing point and the glacial drift. Thank you.
Uh,
It wouldn't be far fetched to have different derelict ships inside the reef to be their own micro playable space with missions and whatnot, and each one have their own landing point. And you have to use a fast travel point to get between the different playable areas inside the reef. I mean, that's
It's not like they
I
haven't
don't think they could.
reused- I
I
was gonna
don't
say it's
think
not like
that
they
would
haven't
work.
reused planets and stuff. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like they've reused Mars, they've reused, Earth technically. We have the EDZ, whereas before we were more in, Russia. So it's not like they haven't reused areas. There's no reason why they can't, in this case, reuse the reef in a different way.
I don't think that would work. The fast traveling with missions though, because now you can't if you even have a patrol going.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is if they have a mission in a particular area that's on a derelict ship, that might lend to a more playable area. At least maybe even for story-driven kind of missions.
yeah.
I mean,
Mm.
I could see Tesla's favorite part having like be a jumping puzzle
I
to
swear
get
to
to the
God,
other ones.
your ass.
Jumping puzzle between the different derelict locations. Oh man, or
Give me that.
Sparrow, like.
But those with the gravity launchers, like
Oh,
just shoot you to the next one
man
from one
cannons.
area to the next. Yeah, the
Yeah.
man cannons basically exactly.
Yeah.
But the Fallen
could
don't
see
have
that.
that technology. That's Cabal. That's a Cabal thing.
The Becks do too, I think. I mean, I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
it's probably something we could steal and retrofit her. I mean, they're everywhere.
I mean, Fallen are scavengers. It wouldn't be far fetched for them to nab onto some Cabal launchers or something
Yeah.
similar to that design. So.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, it
So.
could be a thing. But I think that's a really great idea that the reef be comprised of, these derelict ships that are the playable patrol areas, and each one is, each area is named after the ship that it is.
Yep.
And you move between the areas either, I mean, it's low gravity, maybe, it'd be easy to just move between the areas with a jump,
Mhm.
if we're out there in low atmosphere, or man cannons would be a good idea.
And thinking back to Destiny 1, wasn't part of the theory when they first went to the reef how there was a lot of like broken down ships that they were passing by? Am I remembering
Yep.
right? I think.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that would make it even more, if you knew the story from Destiny 1. If you don't, then you're not going to necessarily know that. But
Mhm.
Okay. So, any other comments about location? Do we think, I mean, possibly a different planet or a new planet or a rehash zone from another planet? I mean, because it wouldn't be far fetched to bring back the Cosmodrome from D1.
Yeah.
So,
I kind of feel like if the reef is going to be a playable area, that could make for an interesting raid.
A
Are
raid
they
in the
going to
reef.
bring another raid layer?
Oh,
too?
I mean,
I hope
It won't be
season three-
Leviathan.
I mean, yeah.
I really hope they end the whole raid layer stuff.
I don't count on it. I think that
I'm
I think there's people. I think they're really keen on the raid being like a 3-part thing.
I mean,
Well, we still
What
have
I
another
would hope
DLC
for-
before the expansion, don't we?
no.
No.
Okay,
No.
so then the expansion would be the next. So then, yeah.
Yep.
Well, we
See, what
already
I
have
think would
3
be neat-
parts then because we have Leviathan, Eater of Worlds, and Spire Star.
Inspire.
So
Right.
expansion 2 may very well be like what Hick said, where it pulls away from the Eater of Worlds ship or the Leviathan ship and makes a more raid in location like we had traditionally in D1.
Mhm.
that would be interesting.
I just hope maybe since we're going back to the reef, since it got taken out by orcs. Maybe we're like, okay, we're going to the Dreadnought boys.
No,
I
please,
was
no.
a big fan.
I love
Big
the
fan.
Dreadnought. I thought it was
Big
good.
Dreadnought fan here.
So
I was literally just sitting here thinking, what if they just repurposed the Dreadnought for another raid, but you had to go
Please.
somewhere completely
'Cause-
different inside of it?
At the end scene, of the campaign in D2, I mean, they showed the Dreadnought is still chilling there, like,
Oh, yeah.
not being used. Okay, let's go back there, okay? I got
Only
a
if you
few
can use
jumping
your Sparrow.
puzzles.
only
I got
if
a
you
few
can
jumping
use it.
puzzles I need to take
goddamn
Yeah,
care
at
of.
this
jumping
point, they need to have
puzzles.
installed sparrows to get around it. For real.
If
You
they
didn't
went
need
back
no
to the
Sparrow.
Dreadnought, if they went back to the Dreadnought, that would mean more walls of penises.
Yeah, 100%. Just doink you off the edges of things. So, my
Don't catch the dildo.
my next question with the reef location is: do you think they're going to bring back a rehashed, renewed version of Prison of Elders?
Interesting.
I don't know, man. I like PoE. I really did, and I wouldn't mind doing it again. But I don't know, man. Like maybe, like
They might. I don't know, because like
maybe
when
like a
it's-
location you have to visit to do something, but I
Uh-huh.
don't maybe not like bring back the entire, not bring back the entire activity itself.
Yeah. See, I would hope that I mean, like whenever I seen it, first thing I thought was like, okay, the Reef's coming back, is Prison of Elders coming back, But I don't know if it will or not.
My thing
I
is
can't see him
Yeah.
not with escalation protocols being so new.
and see, that's my thought though, Hick, is when by the time expansion 2 rolls around, escalation
Yeah.
protocols are going to kind of be slanting off on
Obsolete,
the
yeah.
on the public event side of it. If they can revamp a PoE situation, kind of like imagine like a prison break scenario, because it's been derelict. It's been abandoned. Who knows who's been doing what in the reef since Marasov in the fight on the Dreadnought. I mean, these Fallen could be tearing into the Prison of Elders and breaking out these high-level enemies, and these public events could just be these capsules or whatnot, where Guardians can go up and open up these capsules and defeat the enemy inside because it's a breakout from the PoE.
Well, then why? I mean,
A cell
I
from the Prison of
personally
Elders.
I personally would have to try to sit down with Deeds and say, look, you need to hire Fat Jolly Guy on creative because the people you got ain't living up to what he could offer.
I mean, for those of you who don't know, I do have a background in game design and development. I have a bachelor's degree in game design and development. So yes, I do have a keen eye for gameplay and what I think is fun. Now, what I think is fun is not necessarily fun for everybody, but I do like to throw my ideas out there, and that's why I kind of enjoy this podcast because it's all theoretical. We don't know nothing right now, so
Yeah.
we literally know
Just
know two things. There was a Guardian and Cade, and they landed on the reef. That's all we know.
But there's
I
also
think we know
three.
what gun is in his hand.
Oh, that's a good question. That's one of the topics that we need to discuss is
Ooh, I seen that.
new
Yeah.
new items and new characters that may be coming in the expansion.
I heard rumors that the year 2 is going to start with a Cade heavy storyline.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I do too.
It would make sense because Osiris we dealt with
Ikora.
Ikora, thank you. And then with Warmind we had
Vala.
Vuvuzela.
Vuvuzela.
Yeah, Vuvuzela. And then it only makes sense that
Vuvuzela.
yeah, it would only make sense that Cade be the main point in the next expansion.
Mhm. Yeah.
And it also goes with the save your best for last. I mean, come on.
Right, but here's the thing: are we going to get another Taken King was the only expansion we got for year 2? Is it going to do the same thing? And if so, how much Cade 6 are we going to get? Is it going to last us 12 months? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I honestly don't think. I think it's either going to be one of two things. Either we're going to get, year 2, and then just like we did with this year, we're going to get 2 more expansions. Or it's going to go back to how it was year 2 of Destiny 1, where it was you get this with a couple of updates, throughout the year that add a couple more things here and there, but they were
Yeah.
free. And I don't know which way that's going to go yet. Like I really have.
I can't foresee Bungie going off and giving us more expansions. They're already fighting for people to play.
Yeah. I would say
at the same time though, people are saying those that have been, especially those who've went to the summit, that the entire, much like with year 2 Destiny 1, the entire game changed with the release of year 2. They're saying the same thing now. Just you wait. Just you wait until year 2 comes, because
Yeah.
the new fresh crispy shit is coming and you're gonna love it.
That's a big thing for me, because to hear the guys that went to the summit say, you wait for year 2. Year 2 is going to be your year, is way different than having Bungie tell us, you wait until year 2. You know?
Yeah.
It means a lot more having community people say, wait until year 2, guys. That's when all of these changes are going to be taking effect. Which, that rolls us into our next category, random weapon rolls. And I think year 2 is going to bring back the random weapon rolls. I 100% believe this, and the reason I believe this is because if on the current year 1 roadmap, they had Weapon Mod 2.0 on there, which was supposed to bring weapon mods to a whole new category and give the player the feel for random weapon rolls again, being able to put these perks, being able to get mods that have these perks on it. If you wanted to put explosive rounds or Firefly, the thought was that Mod 2.0 was going to be able to do that and give you the ability to customize these weapons. Mod 2.0 has been erased from all of the roadmaps now. And the reason I feel like it's been erased is because Bungie went with random weapon rolls again.
I pray.
Please.
But what if they combine the two? Because I like where the mod system was going. I agreed that it needed some work. But I also think that there should be random rolls on weapons. So what I'm looking forward to are random rolls. I'm looking for. I want the guns to have a static roll. Every gun comes with one perk that is static. That gun gets that roll every time.
Yeah.
And it comes with a random perk and then a moddable perk.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm really hoping.
And then it also keeps your 3 options for sights. So you have 3 options for sights or barrels. You have the static perk that every weapon of that type is going to drop.
It can be a selectable. Like you get 2 static. And this weapon always comes with these 2 perks. You gotta choose one.
Mm-hmm. And then it comes with
random perk and then moddable. Yep. That would be the dream.
Yeah.
Now,
that would be the dream.
Are you still going to be able to mod your energy weapons with different arcs? So that would also
damage type,
that would also be a damage mod that energy weapons and heavy weapons would be able to have applied as well. And then kinetic weapons would also have the +5 kinetic damage mod still, or +10 or whatever they decide to do with that. I like that. That's a crazy good idea right there. I think that right there would bring people, because if you're a PvP guy, your customizable perk could be PvP related.
Exactly.
If you're a PvE guy, it's a PvE mod. If you're a raid guy, they can have raid mods that drop from the raid. That could plug in there and give you your weapons boost in raid situations.
Yep.
Same with strikes. If you have a strike mod, you could put in there, I mean, there's a lot of potential.
I get what you're getting at here.
There's a lot of potential for good things. And all of those customizations will lead people to grind those guns, because, it's going to be the Grasp of Malak all over again if this way of customizing your weapons comes back, because you're going to grind for that weapon if it's got these static rolls and it has a table like from year 1 where these static rolls, can roll through, and you only get 2 options out of 6 possibilities. You're going to grind those weapons until you get the perk that you want for the customizable mod that you're going to be putting on it.
Yep, exactly.
That way when Zavala or the Cryptarch or the Gunsmith give you your 6 better devils in a row, you're not just immediately like, whoop, smash that. You're looking at those perks again. You're looking at it and going, what
And then
mods
you go
does it have?
smash that.
And then you go smash
Yeah,
that.
that's probably a good.
Then yeah.
But
Shard
it still gives you that opportunity to go, wait a second.
It gives you it gives you an opportunity, or it gives you the reason to play the game and grind out all this cool stuff, because you now are looking for the god combo of this
Yep.
gun.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if these modifications, custom modifications, would be able to have something along the lines of like, oh man, I got this really cool mod, and it would go perfect with a scout rifle, pulse rifle, hand cannon, or something along that line. And then you're like, but which one do I want to put it on? So you're going to be like hoarding that mod, until you find the gun you would have put it on, and it gives you even more reason, just like you said, Killa, to grind the game and find that gun. Now, with that being said, though, how does that affect metas in Crucible?
I guess we won't know until like, if that happens, and then it'll be still, well, you need to get this gun, you need to put this perk on it, you better hope it rolls with this, and then you better put this mod on it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But you know that Bungie is very concerned about the balance in PvP in D2. And I mean, with this newest Crucible update, the time to kill has been reduced significantly. Your supers have been increased significantly. Your grenade recharge, your melees, all of those have been boosted. I mean, Crucible plays a hell of a lot faster than it did at the beginning of D2.
Mm-hmm.
Thankfully.
Yeah, thank
that's
you.
a good
I
thing.
mean, it's a good change. The faster pace with the lower numbers is a real good feel. I feel like Iron Banner, when it was 6v6, was very hectic because everybody was having supers and grenades and melee charges, and it was a real fight for the heavy ammo, because the heavy ammo tended to be the shift in the battle that everybody was after.
Oh shit! Yeah, I remember that.
So, all right. So,
We'll be right back.
all right.
Sure.
Aside from Crucible, because that's not really what we're here to talk about, one of the things that I've seen on some of the Reddits and everybody, where people are speculating things, is the possibility of a new subclass. We got new subclasses when Taken King was dropped. What are your guys' take on a new possible subclass, and what kind of energy type would it be? Because every class already has one of each element type as a subclass.
It would only make sense that it's Frost.
I challenge that.
What would be your element type for a subclass?
Darkness.
Darkness.
Explain, please.
There have been guardians throughout the history who have succumbed to the darkness, like Dreadkin Yor.
Mm-hmm.
Dark guardians who, though they were forged in the light, the darkness turned them from the light, and they started doing fucked up things. Like Yor, his whole thing was taking the lives of innocent people.
Mm-hmm.
He found joy in it.
Yeah.
So if you could come up with a cursed or a blighted guardian who, the only thing about it that I really can't answer right now is like switching subclasses, because I feel like if you are a guardian that goes that route, you should lose qualities. But I mean, this is Destiny we're talking about,
I would feel like a dark subclass, as fun as that sounds like and as interesting as that could be, I don't know how that would play, because Destiny paints Guardians as the good guys.
Yeah.
And to give them a subclass that is literally connected to being a bad guy, I don't know how that would play out. But
right. On the flip side of that, Callus has hinted a few times at us being on the wrong side as it is. And maybe he has an idea of a power type we could utilize.
See, when
Robotic.
Yeah, or something like, who knows? It's hard to put a label on it right now. As far as that goes, but it could be anything for that matter. It could be whatever he calls all that space lean that comes out from his the purple stuff that's leading up to his throne. all the space lean on the ground. That could be some kind of power that they can produce.
Interesting.
Keep going.
Well, when Warmind dropped, I thought when I first time I seen the Javelin, I thought a Javelin subclass was coming to D2. I thought that would be so cool to have an entire subclass that was built by Rasputin, and every class would be the Javelin class. So whether you're a hunter, a warlock, or titan, when you popped your super, you would have a Rasputin Javelin. Your grenades would be, the nanotech. Your rift energy / shields, all of that would be nanotech. It would be Rasputin developed archetypes, and it would be a more kinetic type of super, a more material super than space magic,
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I was kind of holding out. So there might be a possibility of something similar to a kinetic super, because the Fallen out there, they're scavengers. When the Queen was out there, they scavenged the reef. Maybe they have some sort of super that they use because they were so far away from the light, they had to survive at the edge of the light.
Right.
Maybe their warriors found a way to go beyond that. But that also ties in the theory of the super being frost, because the further away from light you are, the colder it is. Frost would be a nice archetype, and we already have the Cold Heart, which, I mean, it's an arc weapon, but it literally oozes ice.
Yeah, not to mention the kind of testing things with frost powers, if you would, with the whole
The Frozen Hive and all that.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it could be like it's obvious, and in the lore, it's Rasputin that caused the shift in the temperature to freeze everything over, to freeze the hive. So it's not beyond the realm of thought that Rasputin's like, okay, let me hook y'all up with a subclass. Boom. Here's your frost.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, who do you trust, Guardian? The Traveler? Or do you trust Rasputin? It brings a plot, like a cool little narrative for the game, if that's the way they're going.
Just really quick though, here's some food for thought, and let you guys chew on that for a little bit. Rasputin versus the Traveler.
I mean, it already happened.
I mean,
isn't that?
I'm talking.
The Traveler tried to leave when the darkness came the first time, and Rasputin injured it.
Yep, I'm talking round 2.
Yeah.
Because obviously the Traveler has been awoken, because of the Cabal invasion and all that, and it did what it had to, and now Rasputin is, seems to be playing a prevalent part, and we got Anna, in there doing God knows what, and Zavala, just kind of like, I'm trying to tell you guys it's a bad idea, but Anna's like all hot and shit, and she's like, Guardian, save that for me, I want a copy, and you're like, okay.
I said this in the D1, the Vanguard are the real enemy.
I mean, the Vanguard
not
were
an unpopular
established.
opinion.
Yeah, the Vanguard were established to cut out the warlords. So I mean, obviously the Vanguard in themselves had to be the baddest warlords around to do that to them. So I mean, it would not be such a far-fetched idea. So
I mean, that's just what I've always felt. I mean, it could be, more than wrong, but just listening to some things that Zavala says, how he acts all bossy.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, we just saved your life. Quit bossing us around, but he's like, still does it.
Well, I mean, Zavala has his storyline. I mean, obviously, when the War of the Seven Fronts happened, some shit went down, and it was real bad, and they thought they were going to lose the city then. And I mean, that forged Zavala into the character that he is. So, yes, he comes across as this strict asshole kind of dictator feel, like it's my way or the highway, but past events have dictated him into this situation, and with the Cabal event, it fortified him even more as that type of, we need to be better equipped to defend ourselves. We need to do it this way, So I mean, he's a very matter of fact, like most Titans are. I mean, I hate to say it, but what's his face on Io said it. I'm a Titan. I'm gonna smash it. Zavala is a creature of his situations that have happened, and because of the invasion of the Cabal and the War of Seven Fronts, I mean, it's formed him into what he is.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, that's just the character that he is. But the good part about Zavala being so headstrong and sure about what he needs to do to defend the city is that he has Ikora and he has Cade, and it's not just his way or the highway.
Right.
He has that fire team, he has that vanguard leadership, and each of them have their own strengths and their own weaknesses that they bring to the table. Ikora is a very as the warlock, she contains wisdom and knowledge. She plays a very speaker kind of role now that the speaker's gone. And then you got Cade, who's a very outside the box, outside world kind of treasure hunter rogue that he kind of plays.
Yeah.
So-
Next speaker, Cade.
Next speaker, Cade
Mhm.
2020.
Yep.
What about this scenario? The Warmind is really controlled by Anna Bray because she's the only one that helped build it that's alive, apparently.
It would make sense. I mean,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And
And she
I just
said he
thought of
listens
this
to her.
theory.
Yeah.
Tessa's right.
Whose ship's right there? The princess.
Mm-hmm.
What if they come and kidnap her?
Or what if Anna already has him?
Yeah.
That's, an
That's a
interesting one there.
possibility. The Princess ship, if you guys don't know, in the Warmind DLC, there's a scannable object in one of the lost sectors, which is a crashed
Cabal.
The Cabal's lost sector. It's a crashed reef glider, the 3-winged ship from D1, and you could scan it, and it says, this has got fallen markings on it, and this ship belonged to the prince, and all this, that, and the other, which kind of very ties it in because in the lore, it said after the battle he had crashed on Mars. So, obviously he hasn't made himself known, but he's he's very good. He's a survivor. So, it wouldn't be far-fetched that he's surviving somewhere on Mars or whatnot. Or he may have been picked up and captured by a fallen house. He may have been picked up and captured by Anna Bray and Rasputin or the Hive or any of the enemy types. So there's a whole part of the narrative right there that is unexplained and unexplored. And speaking of narrative, that's the next topic that we have here is where do you think Year 2 is going to take the narrative of Destiny as a whole?
Huh.
That's a hard one.
It's a very hard
Yeah,
one.
Well, hopefully
so
the
many
future of it gives
possibilities.
me a hard one. Oh wait.
Hey.
I mean, I'm praying
Okay, let me
that they take it from this level and put it to this level because this is where it should be.
So, the thought is that, I mean, we look at D1, we look at the expansions that we've gotten from D1. D2 has followed a very similar path, unfortunately. The community as a whole was very upset with the quantity of story there was from the get-go in D2. So in Year 2, in D1, with Taken King, they added so much story. They added the cutscenes. They added story-driven dialogue. All of this stuff to Year 2. Are we expecting, or should we expect that same quality of story being dumped into Year 2, sprinkled in throughout the months with the activities, or are we expecting a similar style of a kind of like a large DLC, and then hoping and praying that we get a spring DLC and a fall DLC also? These are some
You
hard
know,
I
questions.
can see it going either way. I can see it going either way.
Yeah.
So, here's just my thought about it. If Year 2 follows this pattern, okay? Year 2 expansion is going to cost you $25, whatever the season pass is, right? But
Mm-hmm.
you get Year 2 expansion and 2 DLCs for that cost. And the 2 other DLCs are free. You pay $25 and you're going to get the Year 2 expansion set.
There's no way it's that cheap.
No, no way.
Okay,
No, because year 2 and D1 it was like $40 extra.
$40.
Mhm,
Okay.
yeah.
Yep.
So $40, okay? So basically the cost of another game. But you're going to get the Year 2 expansion and 2 more DLCs. However, if it's going to be like Taken King where
Yeah.
it's only one expansion and that's it for a whole year, are people going to pay the $45 or $40 price tag for that expansion?
Yeah.
Well,
I
yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think they will, but I think there's a lot of people that
They're
are
gonna
just
wait.
sitting back going, "You guys better blow my mind away at E3 and this
There's already
leading up to
yeah,
it."
There's already
Yeah.
saying that now. This next
Mhm.
thing it better absolutely be mind blowing, or I'm done with Destiny. I swear.
And see,
Yeah, every
that's I mean, there are people that, you know, when Osiris hit, that was super low. Like that was lower than Crota
was
in
one of them.
D1.
Yeah, I was one of them too. I was.
I was one of
100%. I think we all
Uh,
felt that slump so bad, and that's when the community got so toxic and it started
Yeah.
just imploding on itself. And that community implosion is what caused Bungie as a company to take a step back and look at how it communicates with its community.
Mm-hmm.
I
Well,
mean,
see, that's how
'cause-
they did with the Division too. Remember? You know,
Oh, yeah.
After a while, you know, they brought in a bunch of people and got shit figured out. Brought in, you know, like all these people that played it and was like, okay, so what can we do? And
Yep.
you know, and
100%. Yeah. I mean, when you have a low in your game that early, because I mean that was what 4 months of Destiny, 4 months,
Yeah.
and then we got Osiris. I mean, D2 was supposed to go a whole year and carry that hype for a whole year, and the first DLC just cuts the leg out from the entire community. I
Mhm.
mean, they had to do
I-
some drastic changes. And I think Warmind did a really good job at apologizing for the shortcomings of Osiris. I think it did
I
a
think
great
it brought
job.
some people back, but I don't think it's brought everybody back.
no,
Hmm.
I
there's
think
some people that
I think year
said,
2 is going to have to knock, like you said, knock people's socks off, or the people that have stuck around and are hoping for a continuation are going to leave, and the people that are saying, "Oh, you better knock my socks off," there's no way they're going to come back.
Yeah.
See, I sit here and I think back to D1
Yep.
year 2, right? It got me back a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
right? Where this one brought me back, and I see the grind and I feel the grind and I'm loving the grind.
But it's
All right.
still a small grind
Yeah,
in the
because
comparison.
come after say Saturday or Friday night when I'm done raiding, I'm bored of the game.
And you're waiting for reset.
Yep.
But you're
I
waiting.
mean, usually I'm not bored. I'll load up some Zelda. But
My thing with that is there are things to grind if you know what to do. Like those sleeper nodes. Now it's a pain in the ass because 2/3 of them by the time you get to like I got like 30 of the 40. So like 2/3 of the ones that I make keys for are repeats, and I just gotta break them down and
I
go
already
away.
came up with a solution for that one, Killer. They should have just, you get 1 through 40 and then it repeats after that.
That'd be nice, but unfortunately we are where we are.
Yeah,
and,
buddy.
and I'm almost positive they're gonna announce Moments of Triumph tomorrow too
Oh yeah.
for year 1. If they don't announce it tomorrow, it'll be sometime in June because it's on the roadmap.
Moments of Triumph
And,
is definitely going to be coming, and it's
I-
going to
I s-
happen.
I see that, but I see a lot of people's moment of triumph being like a 30-second video.
No. I feel
Well,
like
I mean, like they're gonna have all those things you got to go do to make sure you get your T-shirt if you want it.
Yep.
I'm that
Oh.
guy. I want the
I
motherfucking
remember
t-shirt.
that. Yep. I remember
yeah,
that.
God
I'm that
bless
guy,
that
so-
T-shirt.
Every one of
But-
them nodes you're going to have to collect. I guarantee it. Every one of them tokens you're going to have to collect. All the
I
collectibles.
forget, there was something that I didn't collect on that damn on the
I remember that
Moments
now. I've
Triumph.
forgotten about that.
I forgot to do something. I wasn't able to get that shirt.
Mine was calcified fragments. I never got all of my calcified fragments.
What?
Nope. I-
Oh,
I mean,
my.
I
Easy.
could have
I
bought
know.
the shirt, but I could have bought the shirt, but let's face it, they didn't come in baby elephant size, so it
I
would've just
feel
been
ya.
a rag to
I
me.
feel you, brother. I feel you.
Wasn't like one of the moments like going like flawless or some shit?
Yeah,
It was
flawless
Yeah.
raider.
It was an optional one.
Yeah.
You didn't have to go flawless.
Yeah,
Oh.
because-
that was
One of the
easy
ones
on,
that
but that was
had-
easy on Crota. So
Yeah.
I mean,
No,
me-
I'm talking about like in
In like
trials.
trials
oh
flawless.
yeah,
please.
yeah.
Oh, trials.
I got it.
yeah, I didn't.
Of course you did, Hicker.
What?
Never got flawless.
Hicker,
never
you
did
are
either.
you don't even play trials now. How did you go flawless in year one?
Don't
Wow.
ask.
Oh my
you
goodness.
Don't want to know.
Oh,
I think
you
he's
got
pretty good at PvP.
you
You
got
can blame the people that were with him.
you got backpacked hard, didn't you?
Just listen to it. Just listen to
I'd
what
hate to go to their
Tessa-
chiropractor with them.
Literally,
It had nothing to
Literally-
do with backpacks. Trust me. It was
literally, this
people he
dude
was
from my
with.
clan messaged me. He's like, "Hey, you want to go flawless in trials?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Like, "Yeah, just come in. We'll carry you." I literally got no kills that game
Goodness.
or that round or that session because
That
I
card.
couldn't move. I immediately turned around and kicked them out of my clan.
Oh, they
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh.
Now the dots are connecting.
oh.
it took a yeah. I was about
Yeah.
halfway through his explanation. I was like,
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
I know what
Yeah,
happened here.
That's why
Yep.
I said don't ask.
Oh, that's
Okay.
that's dirty.
I kicked him out of my clan and I turned him into Budgie.
That's dirty. But you still got the flawless, sir.
Wow. And you just bragging on your flawless.
I was gonna.
No,
was gonna
I
say it
wasn't
three
bragging.
rounds.
You phony.
I'll brag. Okay, I'll brag. This D2 trials. There was one set I went 12-0.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't gone flawless in trials ever.
I've
Mm-mm.
played
Me
I've
neither.
I've played trials one time, and that was just enough to unlock so I could go in there to get the achievement for meeting an emissary of the Nine. That's all I've
Well-
ever played it.
Actually, what was I played trials a little bit in D1. I think the highest I've made it though was like 7-0. Oh, it was.
We got an
It
8
was-
now.
Yeah. All right, so
I remember you telling me about that.
So back to our topics. We've already discussed location. We've discussed the Fallen, the return of Varix and other races. What about the idea of having the Fallen as allies in the new DLC?
I think it's a great idea. I think it's been a speculation for a while that people think the Fallen is eventually going to say, you know what, if you can't beat them, join them. There's some speculation, of course, that points to from the Forsaken part to the one of those the adventure in D2 wherein we encounter the Fallen captain
Mm-hmm.
who has the surname
The Forsaken, yeah.
and if
Oh,
you
I
don't kill
never
him,
thought about him.
if you don't kill him, he kind of salutes you and
Mhm.
disappears. So there's a lot of
Which one is that?
It's a
enemy of my
PS.
enemy on Titan.
It's a PS4 exclusive strike, isn't it?
It's not a strike. It's an adventure. It's on
It's
Titan.
an
It's
adventure.
not
Oh,
exclusive.
okay.
It's a set of adventures that
Because it's the Fallen versus
It's
the
the
Hive.
one where you had to either choose to kill one guy, or you ended up, or the other guy, or both.
yeah. You know if you kill
The
the
World
captain
Quest
first.
locked on Titan.
Yeah, it's Titan.
Yeah.
The idea is to kill the Hive Knight first, and don't kill the captain. And if you don't shoot at him or kill him or anything like that, if you don't hit him, he says something to you in Fallen or Elixni, if you will, and then goes away.
Yep.
And
he
his
salutes you
name
or
was
something.
his name is the Forsaken. So there's that.
That's a pretty solid ground on and kind of an uneven ally between the
Yeah.
Fallen and the tower, if you will, or the last city, if you will.
Right.
But
And
and
then-
see, even that doesn't interfere with any of the other Fallen that you would fight in game, because it would be easily explained that they're outside of the Fallen houses, because the ones that we do encounter, they don't fly banners, they don't wear house colors. They're truly like native. You know, they've
Mm-hmm.
reverted back to true scavenging. So the ones that still follow the house rules, the ones that still follow the, judgment, all of these, would be really easy for them to fly under a single banner and ally with the city. Because we've already seen that humans and the Elixir could work together with things on the reef with the Queen and all that. So it's a real possibility. So then the next question is, will they be a playable race?
It's hard to say at this point. Go ahead.
I don't know if they'd add like another race to play. I think they'd stick with just the Humans, Exos, and Awoken.
But why
Well,
not?
if there was another race, they would have to offer like a fourth character.
A fourth character, 4 new supers, a whole new character to grind through the story.
That could be the new class.
It gives everybody that core feeling to do a whole new character again, a whole reason to do a whole new, never done before character.
That could be the new class.
I am hoping, however, that they give us a spark of light to take us to at least level 30.
Yeah.
Please.
Nah, do it from
Bungie,
zero. Do it from the ground up.
If you ever watch this, Bungie, Deej, I'm looking at you. Sparks, baby. Please.
Spark, baby.
I'm cool with running the story, but don't make me go through all of that again. Don't make me go through all of D1 or D2.
Oh, what,
Year
Killa?
one
You don't want the
again.
grind?
I don't want to have to do that again. I've already done it 8 times. The only reason I pick a third character on PC is because I don't need a hunter. Because I'm good. I got a warlock, I got a titan. I play on PC 90% of the time. I've got a hunter that I play on Xbox for when I need that grind. And right now, my PlayStation 4, I ain't turned it on in 2018.
Shame.
I mean, my PS4 is
It's
real
it
nice.
is in
Netflix
last
machine.
It is in last place behind my PC, my Xbox, and my Switch.
Okay.
In last place. So
So
I'll get around to it when I do. But
we're
I've got
in
a
a-
300. Let me.
Yep.
I've got 3 characters on PlayStation. I've got 3 characters on Xbox. The only way they're gonna get me to run a 9th character, a 3rd character on PC, is they give me something completely new to do.
Mhm.
And
Shit,
then
I can hardly run 2 characters on PC. I don't know what you're talking about. Phew.
All right, so we're in the last the few minutes of this the podcast here. So we've basically covered everything that's on here. 2 things we haven't covered is: do you think that expansion 2 is going to bring a brand new enemy archetype? I'm not talking a reskin Fallen, because of the flash from when the Traveler awoke. We've seen the pyramid ships. There's been a lot of speculation about the darkness coming this way. The reef would be the first place they got to. Are we going to see the beginnings of a darkness enemy archetype in this
Don't we
expansion?
already have that?
No, we have the Taken,
We have the Taken, yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's not the darkness. I mean, I
don't know. They're
we've
pretty
been
dark.
waiting and waiting for I don't know how long, to see the darkness come. And I feel like, if we're going back to the reef, there's a high possibility we might see it,
I
It'd
mean,
be
I
pretty
wouldn't
neat.
mind it.
Honestly.
I mean, that'd be what, 5 years of Destiny now, and we haven't had a new one.
Because, I mean, in the beginning in
Well,
D1...
I would say 5 years. We had the Taken,
Yeah, but the Taken
is
were
a
directly,
reskin,
directly related to the Hive, though. That the Taken is part Hive because of Oryx. He was the Taken King. It was a power that the Hive had from the Worm Gods. So if you classify that, the Taken aren't even true darkness. They're just creation of the Hive.
yeah.
And now without a king, they run rampant. Which is what we see on Io. But what I'm saying is that the reef would be the first location that any of the darkness ships would actually make it into our solar system. It would be our first opportunity to see a brand new enemy archetype, one that we've never seen before in Destiny, fight a whole new type of enemy. I mean, if you think about it, things that Bungie have to do, they have to bring the grind back, they have to bring the entertainment factor, they have to bring a narrative. Those three things right there, you introduce the darkness, you introduce random weapon rolls, random armor rolls, that kind of stuff. You introduce a new playable area. I mean, you've got it. You've got the three things that Bungie needs to bring for Expansion 2 right there. You're literally looking at a brand new game come year 2 if they can pull those three things off.
And I think that's what it needs to happen.
I 100% agree. Because if any of those 3 points falls flat on its face, and I'm talking flat, like just completely screwed up, you're going to lose everybody that walked out in Osiris. You're going to lose them all. Because you got people that came back for Warmind, and they're like, yeah, this is fun. It brings the grind back a little bit. They're going to buy the expansion. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to buy the expansion. I'm one of those people that I left during Osiris, and I came back with Warmind, and I'm going to buy the new expansion. I am. But if I don't get that feeling of the extreme grind that everybody has been talking about back, or the narrative back, or the reason to come and play again, it's going to be really easy to walk away from the game again. And I feel like they need these 3 key points to bring that player base and bring back the feel that we had and the excitement that we had.
I agree.
I think it's super. I think it's a super powerful possibility. Super powerful. that this is a strong key point that they could do. Because bringing the darkness as an enemy type alone would be enough to bring all of this Osiris people going, look, I don't know if Expansion 2 is going to be good or not, but I want to kill one of those guys. So that's my thought about a new enemy type.
It'd be nice.
It would be really nice.
Well, with so many possibilities coming, I mean, we got Savathun, we know is eventually showing up. We know that whatever the darkness is, we feel like they're coming back.
Yeah.
So, that's the darkness could be anything. Savathun could be bringing anything.
Well, I think you talked about it early, Killa, with your superpower or your super that you talked about, Dark Guardians.
Right.
Why?
Well, there have been
Why wouldn't the darkness? It would be really easy to make it another humanoid race.
Yeah, easily.
Yeah.
Guardians through time. We already have the Exo Stranger from D1. She's talking about events that came through time. We've got Osiris, who's been sitting in the Infinite Garden, filing through thousands upon thousands of different iterations of the future and past. I mean, it'd be very easy for him to know something about Dark Guardians. We have Vex that are time travelers. They pull themselves through time. I mean, it wouldn't be anything for a Guardian, fallen Guardians from a different timeline who have pulled themselves through and are after the Traveler to destroy it. Because of whatever self-righteous belief that they have that the Traveler is what destroyed humanity. Which it would be really easy to see because, I mean, when the Traveler entered our solar system, we went into this grand golden age and everything, but it also brought in the enemies of the Traveler. The Elixni, the Cabal, the Hive, all of these things that are there to devour the light. And if these Dark Guardians from a different timeline that have been chasing the Traveler for all this time, there's your enemy type right there.
Yeah.
And you got Hunters, you got Warlocks, you got Titans. All dark versions, mirror images of ourselves. Their supers will be available to them. Could you imagine PvE combat going up against a Titan Slam from a Dark Guardian or an Arc Strider?
Make me want to throw something.
Or whatever their dark versions of those powers would be, because obviously they don't have the Traveler's Light to embrace the gifts of the light, but at the same token, they would have some sort of abilities from the darkness.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely not far-fetched when you think about it. I mentioned Dredgen Yor. I can't really remember how to pronounce the name exactly. But on the flip side of the same coin, though, take, for instance, Eris Morn. She used the darkness to bring us out of the Ascendant Realm when
Yep.
we were there to get Crota's essence.
Yep.
You know, that's what she used was the
What?
darkness to pull us out.
What is there?
He's an emissary of the Nine.
Yep.
He serves the Nine, and it is of the belief that that is who may have Mara Sov right now is the Nine.
Yeah, I can
That's
believe
the
that.
possibility.
Because I mean, in that cutscene, I mean, you've seen her close her eyes, and then the screen flashes to white, which white is a huge part of Trials and of the Nine, you know.
Yeah.
So it could be very well be that the
Mhm.
Nine had different plans for her, and they grabbed her in that moment prior to the Dreadnought's explosion damaging her ship. Because you know the Prince, he ran, he jumped light speed and tried to outrun the blast and failed. So obviously some kind of power beyond that had to grab her and pull her away, because it's been said, it's in the lore that she's not dead, but how do you survive that explosion from the Dreadnought when it destroyed so much else? How did she escape from that ship? That's
Yeah.
questions. And I mean,
Well, wasn't there like a mission in D1 where it was like finding one of them ships and they thought it was the Queen's ship? Like,
yeah, there was
it was like a distress beacon. It was something like that.
I don't remember that.
It was it wasn't a mission. It was a scannable or something in Taken
You had to do
King.
the mission, I thought.
No, because well, maybe it was during. I don't remember.
Yeah, it was like a little. It wasn't.
Because your
It
ghost
was like
said
a
something
patrol
about it.
mission. Yeah, and at the end of it, it was talking about. It was going back to like the Queen and the Reef and everything. It was going back to all that.
Yeah, because
And
the ghost said
it was
something.
on Mars.
Yeah, the ghost said something about it was a distress signal from the Queen ship or
Yeah.
something, and then it went quiet. He said,
Yeah.
and so that would indicate that they were transmitting prior to the Dreadnought attacking the ship, and then it would make sense that the transmission would stop after that, you know. So, but yeah, the lore and everything behind what happened to the Queen and the princes is all theory right now, because the lore, all it says is that the prince crash landed on Mars. We don't know what happened to him, and that the Queen survived the Dreadnought attack, but we don't know how. And to look at the destruction in the wake of what the Dreadnought was able to do, it's really hard to see how she would be able to escape that without some sort of greater outside help like the Nine, you know? So.
Yeah.
All right, so we've already run over just a little bit, so right now I would like each of us to kind of go through and in closing, tell us about your journey through D1, what it's mean to you, and what you hope it's going to mean in the future. So, Killer, go ahead.
All right. Well, I started playing Destiny 1 about 5 months after it started, and since then, it's led to an incredible journey. I discovered Twitch. I met, it's a group of people that I started playing Destiny with, who mostly don't play Destiny anymore, but through Destiny and then Twitch, I met, all of you people basically in the Twitch directory, and this year planned an entire vacation around meeting one of the craziest group of people I've ever had the privilege of knowing. So onwards and upwards, man. I love Destiny and ready for more Destiny things. And you're not gonna sink this fucking hype truck, this hype ship. You ain't gonna stop this hype train. There ain't no brakes on this bad boy. I don't care who hates on it and who's not ready and who thinks it's a quote unquote shit game. Killer McGillicuddy's ready for year two, ready for more Destiny. Bring it on.
There you go. All right,
Yeah.
Tessa, why don't you tell us about what D1 means to you, and D2, then the journey as a whole.
D1, Hick and I started D1 in the alpha. We played the alpha, we played the beta, and from the alpha, I truly did not think it was going to be a game I was going to like as much as I did. And it developed into an obsession, a passion, even through D1 in year one, when a lot of people fell away, including, many people in our clan at the time. I was still there. I was still grinding. I fell away some in years 2 and 3, off and on, but finished year 3, strong. Looking forward to D2. I was disappointed to some extent, but then I remembered year 1 of D1 wasn't all that great either. It had its moments too. So, and in some ways, year 1 of D2 has rebounded better than year 1 of D1 did. So I'm looking forward to seeing what this reveal brings and what year 2 brings.
Okay. Hick, what about you?
I've been watching Destiny since they first announced it back 06-ish area.
Mhm.
A long time ago.
It was myself, Mr. Killzone, my brother. We got so hyped. We're like, that's going to be an amazing game. And we watched it grow. We got the hype, played it since like Tess said, alpha, beta, D1. I dropped out and halfway through D1 until the expansions started coming, and then Rise of Iron came, and I was all about that game. It's all I played. Loved it, started streaming it, and then got hyped for D2. D2 came, and it felt what I wanted, like a whole new game, but not the game that it should feel like. And I'm glad. I'm just gonna skip and say I'm glad Warmind came out because it brought me back.
Yep.
And I'm excited for year 2. I really hope that they change everything that needs to be changed.
I'm with you. All right, Fat Man. What about what's your opinions? D1, D2 journey.
Oh man, I love Diablo. I don't know what you're talking about. all 2 of them. No, I started Destiny. It was between Dark Below and House of Wolves, and I played it. Man, I enjoyed all through Dark Below. By the time I really got through it all, because I wasn't playing it nonstop. It was after my full wreck and everything else. But whenever House of Wolves dropped, me and my brother, we was playing it nonstop, doing Prison of Elders, everything else, and then right before Taken King dropped, I just kind of like quit playing it. Then Taken King dropped, and I was back in it. Then that's whenever I found like Sneak and everyone else, and I just played it religiously all through the rest of the damn DLCs. And once they brought back the revamp raids, I was just I kind of phased out a little bit into other games. But then D2 dropped, I played it for a while, then I was just like, and then Curse of Osiris dropped it, I was just like, but with Warmind, I'm really glad, it really brought me back to the game, I will say that.
Yeah. And so are you excited for year 2 and everything that it could bring?
Most definitely.
There you go. All right. So in closing for me, I would like Tessa and Hick. I was an alpha. I was a beta tester for the game. I absolutely fell in love with the game. I bought it, and immediately it was what I did Twitch for. I first started with The Division and played that, and as soon as Destiny dropped the full game, Division was gone. I did nothing but Destiny through all of D1, through the highs, the lows, the DLC. That's what we built this community on, was Destiny. And I felt really strong connection with the streamers inside of that community and everything. When D2 dropped, I was one of those fanboys, man. I'm like, they're going to learn from all the mistakes from D1, and this is the promised land of Destiny. I'm going to get a massive story. I'm going to get thousands of missions. Everything that I ever hoped for is just going to rain from the heavens of Destiny, and I'll never need to buy another video game again. And so when it wasn't, it was one of those games that hit me real hard. It really, really hurt me. And the community that I'd built around that game got really toxic, and it hurt a lot, I've lost a lot of friends that used to play and used to be just like me. And even I wasn't into the game as nearly as much as I was in D1. It really hurt my community on Twitch. It really hurt friendships that I had. When Osiris dropped and it was just more of the same, I was really, really destroyed. I don't have anybody that was that from D1 anymore. No one. They're all gone now. But from that point forward, I said, you know what, we're going to get back into Destiny. That's what the community was built on, and you know what, screw the haters. We're gonna come back. We're gonna build a community better than ever around this dead game, and I don't care. And then Warmind dropped, and it gave everybody more reason to play. And the new friends that I had made from doing other various things, you know, they were all Destiny people too. And so giving new meaning to the game brought everybody back into that central focus point of Destiny being the game, you know. And I mean, we had a whole podcast tonight, over an hour of a podcast talking about our hopes and dreams of a new expansion to a game that we all have some sort of passion for. It's all had a meaningful impact in our lives one way or another. And so I'm on that bandwagon. I'm so hopeful for the expansion in D2. And like I said earlier in the podcast, the people that went to the Destiny or the Bungie Summit that all came back and said, we can't tell you shit, but we will tell you, wait until the fall, wait until the expansion. To hear community members that themselves had fallen off the Destiny bandwagon and were off doing whatever else, trying to keep their communities intact as well, to come back to the Destiny community and say, listen here, year 2 is going to be what you're looking for. We can't tell you, but wait for year 2. And to hear the community come back together after that summit really brought hope back to me and really brought hope back to the community, and it gives me that much more passion to build around such a great platform again. So yeah, I'm hyped for tomorrow. I'm excited to see where it goes, and you know what? My expectations may be up here in the stars and in the reef, and you know, we may end up getting shit on again. I mean, it's a high possibility, but I don't think Bungie wants that, and I don't think the community members that came back from that summit would blatantly tell us false things, you know? So
I think if it doesn't live up to what they expected, they're going to have an outcry from those people that went to the summit.
Oh, 100%. 100%. So
because they have large communities that will back them.
All right. So that's about it. So Killer, if you want to take us out, man.
Sure thing, man. On behalf of Not Really a Stream Team, we are Not Really a Stream Team. This has not really been a podcast. I'm Killer McGillicuddy, and everyone else sign yourself out.
Hickerbilly, peace.
You're fat, man. I'm out.
This is Tessa. Let's look for you in D2.
I'm Fat Jolly Guy. I'll see you in the stars.